This is the school, and actually the set also, of Degrassi Junior High. Welcome to a special Switchback coming to you from Toronto and Degrassi Junior High. It's a real school. Of course, the name isn't Degrassi Junior High. You know, it's funny, the neighborhood over the years has been put together from a bunch of different locations all through Toronto. Degrassi Street is actually way over, about 10 or 15 miles east of here. This is the west side of Toronto where the school is. And they've moved on past this school, which means that they're not actually shooting in there, which means that we can go in and look around at some empty classrooms upstairs. See, the set was upstairs, and the rest of it is actually a functioning school. You probably remember the last episode of last season. Flames were coming out of these windows, and it looked like the whole school had burnt down. It didn't, I'm happy to report. The whole school is here. We won't have to walk through the charred remains of a school inside and look for old bits of paper. It's all fine inside, pristine school, and we get to look in. So join us now as we join Kathryn Ellis of Playing with Time for a tour of the inside of Degrassi Junior High.
Wake up in the morning, feeling shiny.
Hi, Kathryn. So this is actually it. This is the hallway of Degrassi Junior High.
That's right. This is the stairwell.
This is the stairwell. Sorry, hallway stairwell. Now it smells like a school.
It does,
for those
doesn't
people
it?
at home. It smells like a school. I thought I'd pass that on. I don't know what that school smell is exactly, but
Chalk dust and
chalk dust.
things like that.
And industrial cleanser. Okay, this is the hallway too. Now this is the hallway
This is the hallway,
of Degrassi Junior High.
which stood in for all the different hallways that you saw on TV.
So this was actually used for all at once. It was just a matter of
Yeah.
sort of redressing it. And,
Moving the lockers around, putting different posters up on the walls, that sort of thing.
you know, it's funny. It's actually a fairly small space, and it was just a matter of changing the thing around, and it looked like a whole school. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
that's right. This is the classroom that was Ms. Avery's classroom at the
Ms.
beginning,
Avery's,
and then
okay.
became Mr. Garcia's classroom when he joined the teaching staff.
Right. Now it's empty now, but it looks like a classroom. And I see someone here has left their shirt behind. Something is. Whose would this be?
That's BLT.
BLT's, right.
Yeah.
Now, why would this be left here? Just
I'm not sure why it was here.
Right.
It seems to have just gotten left behind, but I guess they'll be back for all the rest of the miscellany that's still cluttering the place up.
Right. When did they move out?
They've been moving out over the last few months, really, slowly, and mostly, especially last week.
Right. So when you actually moved in, how many years ago was that the school was taken
That would
over?
have been, we've done 3 seasons.
3
in here.
seasons, so 3 years ago.
Yep. And it was pretty much like this, except for the desks. We brought the desks in. And there's, as you can see, there's no clocks or PA systems and things, and those are all put in by us. It was just bare to the walls when we got to this.
So Mr. Lawrence's voice would have come over a PA box there, and
That's right.
the whole class. Okay. What's across the hall here? I see that there's another classroom.
Yeah, that's a famous classroom. That's
Famous classroom.
Mr. Radich's classroom.
Mr. Radich's classroom.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I notice it's much cleaner than the other one.
Sure, neat and tidy, isn't it?
Yeah, here it is. Here's the classroom where Mr. Radich would have stood up there as the
That's right, and he would have had a teacher's desk up there as well.
teacher's desk. Okay. Now, this classroom would have been much like this when you moved in?
Yes,
Would have been...
again, just everything except for the desks.
Right, okay. And, oh, I see that there's, Sara was here, December 10th, 1988. What's that about?
Probably it was our last day of filming. I'm not quite sure, but that was around the time we finished up filming, so Sara probably wrote that.
Right, okay. And there's some...
farewell.
Just looks like a normal classroom.
Uh-huh. Well, this is where Joey flunked, and then where he later passed, and where Yet got caught cheating, and all those other things.
And all the little gossip stuff going on in the
That's
different
right.
desks. And, okay. Move back. The cloakroom back there.
Yeah, we didn't really use that. We use that more for storage than for any actual filming.
Right, because this would have been the place where everyone worked as well as,
That's right.
you know, there would have been a lot of crew here. And,
About 15 crew members.
all together, gee, and it's a very small space, too. It
Yeah.
looks a lot bigger on television.
We all had to get along very well.
Right. You were saying that one of the lockers here used to have a space in the back so you could actually get through to the kitchen?
That's right. The kitchen is inside of here, and
Yeah.
if crew or cats wanted to get a cold drink or a coffee or something, and they were blocking off the hallway with the configuration of lockers, they had one with an empty back so that you could still get in and out for your coffee.
Right, okay. Well, that's the TV here.
Yeah.
All right. So we're walking down now. Now this looks like, well, this looks like what would this room be? I don't know what this
This
looks
is
like.
kind of a room of all trades. Mostly
all
it was
trades.
used as the principal's office,
Right.
and it was also used as a club room. When
Oh,
you
I
saw
see.
club meetings, they would be taking place in here. I think that the Digest, the newspaper, was also in here too.
So this was just a room that was used for all sorts of things.
Anytime we needed a smaller room, this was the one.
And the door, of course, to Mr. Lawrence's office.
The door to Mr. Lawrence's office.
Right.
Want to go see the principal?
Sure, yeah. Now, Mr. Lawrence, of course, is rarely seen, right? He's not.
Never
He's
seen.
never seen. It's just his voice that's heard. And okay, well, it's just a It's just a
Mr.
wall.
Lawrence.
You mean there's not actually a principal's office at all? I guess there'd be no need.
We didn't have a principal. We didn't have a principal's office.
Right. Well, you were telling me that you made an entrance from the principal's office. How did you?
That's right.
How did you do that?
They had me and the other person who was making the entrance at the same time squashed right back in here.
Right.
They'd come bursting out and say, that girl's not staying at Degrassi, and get really angry.
So another TV illusion shattered here on Switchback. There is no Mr. Lawrence's office.
And there's no Mr. Lawrence.
And there's no Mr. Lawrence, yeah. But the actor, who was the actor that played Mr. Lawrence? The voice of Mr. Lawrence?
The voice was John Bertram. He's one of our directors, as a matter of fact.
Oh, really?
And he does actually appear as Mr. Lawrence on camera once, but he's not identified, so you'll never know who he is.
So in some episode, Mr. Lawrence is lingering in the background.
That's right.
Wow.
He went to Wheels' parents' funeral.
Oh, you're letting, okay, the Wheels parents.
But you won't know which one he is.
Well, why was that done? Just as a sort of an extra thing for you guys, to sort of amuse you?
Yeah.
A little joke to amuse you? Are there lots of little in-jokes like that?
Oh, sure.
Really?
Yeah, almost everybody on the crew has been used, like me coming out of the door there at least once and has some little part. You'll see our AD as a shopping store clerk or one of the editors as a policeman.
Right.
That kind of stuff.
That must be a good giggle when you're looking at all those things.
Yeah, it's great fun.
Yeah, okay.
It's like home movies.
Yeah, right. Now, this is the resource center, right?
That's right.
Once again, a room that's not a lot going on right now,
No.
but certainly a room, a lot of bustling excitement occurred during the season, right?
Sure, a lot of stuff happened in this room. Spike went in, she was pregnant, and
Right.
Lucy planning her parties, gossiping.
Right.
A lot of things happened in here.
Yeah, now, of course, the room would have been filled with books. What happened to the books? Where are they
Well,
all?
they're packed up in boxes out here, some of them. Some of them have already gone over to our new school.
Okay, here's a silly question. Were they real books, or were
They
they
were-
fake books?
They were real books,
Yeah.
but they were not necessarily books that you would have in a library, and they weren't arranged or anything. They would go down to garage sales and secondhand stores and just buy them up by the box load. It didn't matter what they were.
Right. Now, is this all, what would the actors do? They come in here when they're not being used?
Yes, they used this, as well as being a filming room, it was
Right.
also like a green room.
Right.
Where they would have their lunches and snacks, they would do crafts, sleep, read, gossip, look
Right.
at magazines.
So they were very comfortable in this room.
Yeah.
That explains why they were so natural and...
I guess so.
Yeah. Now, there's a skateboard lying
Yes,
there. Is
there
that by
is.
any chance Joey's skateboard?
I think it must be, because no one else rides a skateboard.
Right. Now, would Pat get to keep this skateboard if he wanted? I mean, I guess you get attached to your little, your little symbols and
I
souvenirs
don't
of
know.
the show.
Maybe they're not finished with it yet. Maybe they need it for this coming season.
I guess he
And
would
that's
keep
why
on.
it's
Yeah, so it's just sitting here with a lot of other stuff lying around. Maybe they've just probably forgotten it, right?
Maybe.
Wow. But that's it. I mean, that's a moment. I'm impressed. Joey's skateboard. Okay, well, I guess those are all the rooms, and all these rooms were made to look like a
down.
whole bustling school.
Yep,
Yeah. Now you guys have moved to a new school. This one is burnt down.
that's right.
And that's you a bit of secrecy about that? You're trying to
still
build
being
up some
kept
suspense?
secret. Yeah, sure. We hope people will want to find out what it's like and tune in on the first episode.
Right. Now, does anyone know where the school is except for the crew? What school is being used?
Not public people.
Public-
I know where it is, but I'm not telling
Yeah, no,
you.
I know. But people in Toronto don't know what school. They might be walking
No,
by
a
the
few
school
people
right now.
may know, but
Right.
no, not really.
But
not
it's
public knowledge.
similar arrangement to this, though. It's sort of the upper part of a
It's-
school.
No, it's a much bigger school, actually. We have a much larger selection of rooms and so on, so that'll be interesting. And there's some really nice features to the building that I think kids will enjoy watching on TV.
So you've created a whole community around the school, the grocery store, people's houses. Where is Degrassi Street?
Well, it's about a half an hour's drive out east along the highway.
You mean it's nowhere in relation to the school at all?
Not at all.
It never has been?
No.
Can we go and look at this street, though?
Absolutely.
But we're going to have to take a van.
That's right.
All right.
Okay, let's go.
Well, I had to get a bit of junk food here in the Degrassi grocery store, a real grocery store.
That's right.
The
Save
people-
the stick as a souvenir.
Okay, I'll save the stick as a souvenir. All right. Now, people actually do use this on Degrassi Street as a grocery store.
That's right.
It was here long before there was ever a
It
show
was,
called
yep.
Degrassi Street. He was telling us inside the store that tourists actually come from all around the world to look at this place. Now, why Degrassi Street? What was the reason?
Well,
to
the first drama show that Playing with Time, the producers of the show, did was called Ida Makes a Movie. And they had a friend, they had a very low budget, and their friend said, well, if you want to use my house while I'm at work, feel free. And it was on Degrassi Street. When they looked around the neighborhood and they saw the mixture of people, some of the houses are quite nice, some of them are, just ordinary houses. People from all over the world live here, and they just thought it was like a little tiny version of Toronto.
Right. So the first series was Kids of Degrassi Street.
That's right.
And a lot of the different sets for the show actually come from this area? They're
That's
not all
right,
over.
yeah.
Okay. The school is nearby, right?
The school is right behind you.
Okay, right behind us is the school. There's the school. What's the school's name for those people?
It's called Dundas Street Public School. That was one of 2 schools that they used.
I see.
For kids at Degrassi Street.
Right. What are the differences between kids at Degrassi Street and Degrassi Junior High?
Well, the kids at Degrassi Street was for younger kids, and as well as that, it has a lot of the same tone, kids solving their own problems, looking at it from kids' point of view. But when they started to do Degrassi Junior High, they recast everybody. So you might see some of the kids that you saw in Kids at Degrassi Street, but they've got new names and different relationships with each other.
Right. So the names actually changed over one summer.
Well, they're not supposed to be the same people.
They're not the same people. Now, is that going to be happening again? Well, a lot of the actors' characters changed.
We're continuing on. So you'll see, it's everyone just graduating by a year. You'll see the Joey and Spike and Wheels and the twins and all will be back with the same characters and same relationships to each other.
Okay. What are some of the other things around here that have been in the show?
Well, there's a number of houses in the area. There's
right.
a little restaurant that Joey got coke dumped over his head in one episode.
Oh, what's the name of that restaurant?
It's called 13 Busy Street.
Can we go take a look at that?
Sure.
Okay, great. Well, Kathryn, here we are at 13 Busy Street, the restaurant that we've talked about. And what episode was shot here?
It was called 20 Bucks.
Okay.
It was the one where Melanie stole money from her mom, and Joey had a bet that with BLT that he couldn't get a date for Friday night.
And this is where the coke was dumped on
That's
Joey's
right.
head.
This is where they came for the bet.
And I'm sitting in that seat.
You are, in fact, yeah. Watch that it's not still wet and sticky.
So the office, the Playing with Time office, is right across the street from here.
That's right. Just a few yards almost from here.
Right, so the whole community is used basically as a set. The whole show
stems
from this
this is the place where people from the office would come for lunch sometimes, and I guess they like the look of it. It's kind of a fun place, and thought it'd be a good location for the kids to go.
Right, so how close are we to other things? I know the school that's actually used is way
The school
over,
is far away, although our new school is closer, the one that we'll be using for the high school. But we've got some of the houses that play the kids' houses just a couple of blocks this way. Degrassi Street, of course, where we just came from, is right over there. The production offices are here. In fact, the producers live right around the corner, too.
So this is, the whole idea for Degrassi came from this neighborhood, the feeling, the neighborhood
That's right.
feeling.
It's supposed to be a really mixed neighborhood, every kind of kid.
What does the community think? Do they get a little starstruck, do you think? Are they affected?
Sometimes they do. Some of the younger kids, you know, they come around and gaze if we're filming in the area, but mostly they're getting used to us around here, and it's just part of the scenery like everything else. Right. You know, we're just another streetcar.
Well, this is great. Thanks very much for showing us the neighborhood today.
I was glad to.
Thank you very much.
Come back and visit us again.
I will, thanks. Well, that's a look at the Degrassi community. Coming up after this break, we'll be meeting some of the kids, old and new, from Degrassi, and also talking to some of the people who put Degrassi together. That's all coming up after this break.
You asked me out on a bet?
Caitlin, take it easy.
I can't believe this.
You've got it all wrong.
Yeah, I do. I changed my mind, Mr. Joey Jeremiah. The coke's on you.
And we're joined by Niville Biggs, who's actually from Dartmouth. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right. What school did you go to in Dartmouth?
Elementary, I went to Ian Forsyth, and during junior high, I went to Bicentennial, then transferred over to Caledonia.
Right. How long have you been in the rep company now?
Oh, not very long at all.
How long is it running? A month or so?
Just about, yeah.
Right. So you're still at the exciting stage of being in the rep company, eh?
It's still not really in that I did get in. It's really exciting.
Right. What do your friends say about this? The ones in Halifax, the ones in Dartmouth? What are they?
Well, a lot of them just found out that I went through the workshops.
Right.
But they don't know that I'm actually in it yet. So this is going to be kind of like a surprise.
Right, maybe when they see this interview, they'll be surprised to see what they're,
Probably say, oh, she wasn't lying.
Right. What was your reaction when you got the call?
Oh, gosh. Well, Judy, she was in charge of my workshops, and she was the one that phoned me, and she played a little game with me. She goes, well, how do you think you did? And I'm here, I don't know, and my stomach was in knots. Yeah. And I'm here like, I don't know, and she goes, well, I wouldn't be teasing you unless you had gotten it. And she goes, congratulations. And I was like, whoa, you know, like I had to cover the mouthpiece before I screamed because I didn't want to really hurt her eardrum.
Right.
So, you know, she finished telling me, and I was just on cloud 9.
Smile.
Hey.
Ta-da! No more braces.
Well, we've got two more old hands of Degrassi Junior High with us now. You've both been on for about 4 years, Sara and Siluck, who play Melanie and Yick. Now I notice you're wearing an earring. Siluck. Does that mean that Yick will have an earring? I mean, for instance, you don't know.
Can't say.
Okay, so that's a potential change in the new season. Are you going to miss the old school? Because a large part of your life is no?
No. Actually, yeah, I guess. Yeah. But it's, I mean, but the school is really small.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, it was fun though, it was filming there. But, yeah.
We needed the change, but it was nice when we were there.
I guess you grew out of it in more ways than one, I guess. Is that...
Well, it needed to really show the transition between Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi High School. It really cut it and made it a whole new season.
Right. Now, your personal life, I mean, obviously you guys get older. I guess everyone does. Do you find that changes in your personal life affect the characters, the changes and developments in the characters?
Well, maybe not directly to your character, but say something happens to you and you just mention it or just happen to talk to our writer or producer or something, and next thing you know, it's popped up in the script.
And somebody else, and coming out of somebody else's mouth.
Yeah, Jan Moore, who does the writing, is really receptive to any ideas you have. You want to go in there and say, yeah, let's do an episode on this. He'll really, and often it does turn up if he gets a lot of feedback that we should do.
We're at the Playing with Time head office with head writer Jan Moore. Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for talking to us. So how many writers are there on Degrassi?
We have, at the moment, we have 3 writers, including myself.
Right.
And we've had several writers over the course of time, but people come, people go.
Right. So where do the story ideas come from? It's sort of a unique process with the workshops.
Story ideas come from everywhere. Story ideas come from my experience, the producer's experience, articles in the newspaper. Kids write in, tell us, you got to do something on this. And, of course, from the workshops, working with the kids.
So how much bounce do you get off the kids? How much do they help you supply your stories?
They contain elements of their characters.
Right.
The characters are obviously much more two-dimensional than these three-dimensional, full-blooded kids are.
Right.
They are, but they're elements of Joey in Pat. They're elements of Melanie and Sara.
What about controversial topics? Degrassi doesn't seem to shy away from them.
We try to be careful. Try to be responsible. Try not to show a kid getting stoned and having just a wonderful time. Right. And we try just to be very responsible to the subject.
So what's going to happen in broad terms this season? You burnt down your old school.
Yes,
right?
That was wonderful.
Yes. Now, are there technical reasons that you've done this in terms of writing? I know you can't go into them if there are, but...
No, in terms of burning down the old school, we thought, what is every kid's ultimate fantasy? And burning down the school, you know, remember, fireworks day, burning schoolhouse always seems to end the ceremony and things like that, so it was just very satisfying to burn out of school. I always wanted to do it.
Right.
Plus, it did make us carry on into high school, because what we found out, what we realized was the kids were getting older, and towards the end of last season, the kids were not, they were playing characters a lot younger than they were, so we wanted to bring them up into their own age bracket.
Well, we're joined now by 3 generations of Degrassi performers. Neil, who's been on Switchback before, and also the veteran Degrassi participant?
Yeah, one of them.
But of the 3, you're the vet. And also we have Kirsti Bourne, who's new this year to the show, or last season you joined the show?
Last season I joined.
And coming this season, right now, a newcomer, a rookie, David, who's also going to be on the show playing Claude, so a brand new character. Now, Neil, as a veteran, do you try to help the newcomers?
Yeah, we all try. Like, I mean, we all meet them, and, well, fortunately, Dave goes to my school as well, so I've known him for quite a while. But with some of the new kids, like, I mean, we introduce ourselves, you know, whenever we finish rehearsing or something, you know, we'll go to dinner or, you know, just whatever, and you just start to get to know each other.
Now, Kirsti, you've been on the show for a year. Do you find it comes more easily?
I think it's easier because I know the people,
right,
and the characters and stuff, and I know last year when I started, I was really nervous because I didn't know how to act around them and if they were different from us.
Do you remember your first line?
Is it true you're rich?
Is it true you're rich? Do you remember your first line? Now, it's been 7 years for you, Neil.
Yes, I do. The first episode I ever did was in The Kids of Degrassi Street, Mark Meets Pirates. The first line was, yeah, you wouldn't want nothing to happen to your little operation, would you?
That was your first line.
That was my very first line. I was quite proud of it.
Yeah. Now, you've been with it for a month now, Claude. What's the whole, or I'm already calling you by your character's name. That's wonderful. David, what was the audition process like for you?
Well, basically, Neil got me the audition.
Oh, I see.
It was kind of handy knowing him.
Yeah.
And then I was accepted into a workshop process.
Right. How long was that?
It was a week long, or 2 weeks actually.
Right.
And it's basically an extended audition process. And you go through classes, and they just want to see how comfortable you are in front of the camera.
Now, Neil, you've been doing the show for a long time, but you guys have all been doing it for some time. You must know the theme.
You don't want me to sing.
Oh, I do.
No, you don't want me to sing. Have you ever seen The Zip Remedy?
Yes, I have.
I'll send you a copy of that one, all right? I can't sing.
You're not going to sing the theme song for us.
Don't ask me to sing.
Sing the theme song for us. Come on, all three of you. Let's.
Do you know it, Dave?
Not really.
Well, wing it.
Play by ear.
Just come along.
Okay.
All right. Okay, ready? Little Zip Remedy. And a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wake up in the morning, feeling shy and lonely. Gee, I gotta go to school. I don't think I can make it, don't think I can take it. Wonder what I'm gonna do.
I've got a new friend.
We're with Judy Shiner here in one of the houses that's owned by Playing with Time, the art director, and also the workshop leader. Now, the workshops that go on behind Degrassi Junior High, behind the scenes, they're different from other productions, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
What's the whole process, the whole workshop process about?
The workshop is really a twofold process. We use it as an extended audition period for the new applicants, and it's a chance for us to get to know them and for them to get to know us and our working procedures. And for the returning kids, it's a chance to just, without the pressures of the shooting schedule or the rehearsal, we just give them a chance to develop and explore their characters, to try out some new acting techniques. We did the Alexander technique, which is a system of body alignment this year. We work on voice and diction and concentration. And it's just a getting ready period for them.
Now, how much do the actors like the characters they play? I mean, is Spike like Spike? They're so believable. Are they similar, or is this just really good acting?
Boy, that's a question that's asked a lot.
Yeah.
It varies. I think an actor always brings a lot of their own personality to a role, and they certainly make the role grow like that.
Somebody's bound to start shining, even in a rep company. How do you compensate for that? Keep that rep company feeling?
We talk about that a lot, and that's something that we've had to deal with more and more as the show has become more successful.
Now, what are the qualities you look for in the audition?
We look for kids with spark, and that's hard to define.
Yeah, right.
Kids with a lot of imagination, kids who can concentrate because, as you know, working on a television set requires a lot of concentration.
Right.
We also try and get a really good cross-section of ethnic backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, so that all goes into the mix too.
Hey Lucy, you look incredible today, and I mean that sincerely.
What do you want, Joey?
How would you like to go out Friday with the coolest dude at Degrassi?
Let's try.
You're also the art director on the show. What do you do? What are the responsibilities of an art director?
An art director is responsible for the look of the show.
The look of the show.
And that means I handle everything from props, wardrobe, set dressing, hair and makeup, anything you see or touch that's in my department.
Right. It must be thankless at times on a job like this because it's realistic, and that means that people sometimes don't notice that there's a lot of work that goes into making a room that we saw earlier today was empty into a normal-looking classroom. Do you ever find that it's a thankless job if you do it well?
Well, if I do it well, it's invisible, and then I know I've succeeded. So in that way, it's quite fulfilling.
Right. Now, I know you can't give any details about the new set, but what are your considerations? What's going to be different about this set?
We are starting from a building that, I mean, there are walls and windows, but we have to think, are these the walls and windows we want?
Right.
And you'll have to tune in and see what I've done with those walls.
Yeah, a new look. Why a new look? What's the reason behind it?
It's a little bit older, and I think that's going to be reflected in the way the kids are dressing and in the way the school looks. Degrassi was very fun and very colorful, and it was really aimed at the junior high age. This year, because high school covers kids right up till 18 years old, we're going to try and get some more sophisticated looks, some cleaner lines. We'll still carry over the Degrassi spirit because I think that's something that really gives Degrassi a name, is you have this kind of fun, colorful background. So we're going to tone it down a little bit in quantity, but keep the spirit there.
Now, is acting something that you want to pursue beyond Degrassi? Is it something that you will continue to do?
For me, I'm pretty sure maybe not pure acting, but maybe something connected with the business, that's pretty sure.
Yeah.
An editor or...
Something,
yeah.
Right.
I'm very similar to Siluck. I enjoy acting, but I couldn't see myself working full-time as an actress.
Why? Because circumstance wouldn't allow that, or because you don't
want it? First of all, I really don't like doing auditions, and I have a feeling that I'd last about 2 months, and I'd get rejected from every audition. I'd be like, that's it, I'm packing it in. And so it's really, if you're acting and you just go from job to job, it would be really fun to do for a time, but I don't know if it's what I really want to do. I do want to stay in the film business, probably, though.
Yeah, it's also very unsteady. Like, we're really lucky to be on the show for 4 years.